This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with a new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metric Root Score Report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here. Wishing you a very happy half-off holiday because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. Like, Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Scary. If you're new here, my name is Will and each week I narrate your real life paranormal experiences as well as some famous paranormal cases along the way. And if you have your own paranormal experience that you'd like me to narrate on the show, you can send it to scaryaparanormalpodcast at gmail.com and it just might get made into a future episode. Before we get into this week's episode, we need to say a special thank you to our new Patreon subscribers who are Joe Wilson, Tracy Evans, Scarlet Diva, Holly Kursk, Jess, Corin and Joe, Sophie Hall, Sophie Bell, Christine Bosch, Judy, Zandria Nelson, Dawn Cooper, Kirsten Sanchez, and Dee. Thank you so much for signing up to the show's Patreon, and if this is something you're interested in, you can find the link in this episode's show notes or simply go to patreon.com/scaryaparanormalpodcast. Over there you can gain access to ad-free main episodes as well as exclusive scary episodes. But now, let's get into our next paranormal encounter. There was a time in my life when strange things began happening around me. Inexplicable things. And every time they would send a chill right through me. Yet in a bizarre way, there was something almost comforting about it, like I wasn't alone, like there was somebody or someone there with me, someone I somehow recognised even though I couldn't explain why. A few years ago, I was going through a pretty rough time in my life. It was the first real struggle I had had with my mental health, and I was eventually diagnosed with depression during those months. I was 28, maybe 29. It was 2018 and I just moved back in with my parents. My business was falling apart and that was bleeding into everything else, especially my relationship. I'd been with my girlfriend almost a year when it all started, and I could feel myself losing grip on the things that mattered. It was like watching my own life spiral, but from the outside of it, unable to reach in and stop the decline. I'm not spiritual, I never have been. But looking back, I'm convinced that whatever negative frequency I was stuck in back then, it opened the door to something, it let something in. It all started on one summer's day. I was in the bathroom, a small ensuite off my bedroom at my parents' house, broad daylight. The sink sat about 3 feet into the room facing the doorway, and it had a mirrored cupboard above it. I remember I was getting ready to go out for the afternoon. I put a deodorant can down on the back left of the sink, brushed my teeth with an electric toothbrush, and I placed the toothbrush on the back right. I rinsed my mouth, turned to walk out, and as I did, I felt something brush against my leg, followed by the sound of something hitting the carpet. I assumed I'd knocked over something, but when I looked down, the deodorant can was on the floor between me and the bed, outside of the bathroom, and so was the toothbrush. It had all happened so fast that my first thought was maybe I hadn't put the toothbrush down properly. Maybe it had toppled into the sink, flipped out and taken the deodorant can with it. So I put them back where they'd been and tried to recreate how this could have happened. Nothing. I balanced the toothbrush on the lip of the sink in case I'd misremembered where I placed it. Nothing. I tried every way I could think to try and make it fall, but the only way was with a lot of force. No matter what combination I tried to make this happen again, I just couldn't understand how it did. The deodorant was far too away to be knocked by the toothbrush. It was impossible. I remember standing there for a moment, just watching them, expecting something else to happen, but nothing did. I got chills, but I carried on with my day. I think I was more confused than scared. I didn't mention to anybody, but for days afterwards I couldn't stop thinking about how something was a bit off in that room. It's worth saying that that room wasn't the one I grew up in, but my parents had lived in that house since I was born and nothing strange had ever happened to me there before. It was a calm house, it was a quiet house in the countryside, and I always felt safe there. Sometime not long after that, I was sitting on my bed watching television in that same bedroom. The bathroom door was just to my left and straight ahead was the TV on the wall with this bookshelf mounted above it. There were a few books on it, but mostly it held my old DVD collection from when I was a teenager, neatly stacked vertically, with more laid horizontally on top. My parents had just put them there when I moved out. As I sat up in bed watching TV, a DVD caught my attention as it slipped right off the edge of the shelf, hit the chest of drawers below and landed on the floor in front of the bed. I just paused, wondering if I'd recently put something back and maybe left it balancing on the edge, but I hadn't touched anything. So I muted the TV and sat there in silence. And then my brain automatically started replaying the bathroom incident in my head. I just remember keeping my eyes on the shelf waiting to see if anything else would happen. And then without warning, every book and DVD flew off the shelf at the same time. I was pretty much frozen, staring at all of them just scattered across the room. And again, I waited, expecting something else, anything else. Nothing happened. And eventually I snapped out of it and got up and checked the shelf. It was fine. There was no loose screws, no tilt. There was nothing wrong with it. So I started to put everything back one by one, and the whole time I felt strange, just unsettled, like I wasn't completely alone in the room. Nothing else notable happened for quite some time. It's difficult to piece the timeline together looking back, but I remember noticing that lights would often flicker when I walked into a room in the house, or spent any length of time in one room. Main lights, side lights, lamps, everything. It wasn't enough to make me think anything of it, but I became very aware of it. During it all, my girlfriend and I broke up. I wasn't doing well at opening up about how I was feeling or what I was going through, and she felt very shut out. One night, I was alone in the house and we had one of those long phone calls like you do when you're going through a breakup. It was really emotional. We were crying and finally I shared everything. I remember sitting on the floor by the radiator crying as I explained everything I was going through and all that I was feeling and how we'd gotten to this point. She was silent on the other end and I felt heard, like she was really listening to me. It made a change from the way we had been speaking to each other lately. After about 15 to 20 minutes, just as I reached the end of my heart-pouring monologue, my phone rang. I took it away from my ear and it was my girlfriend calling. I assumed we must have just got cut off just then. I answered and straight away she said what happened, and I replied saying I don't know, what was the last thing you heard? And I was shocked to hear her say that she had been trying to get through to me for 20 minutes. I vividly remember getting chills. How was it possible that I wouldn't have heard the same tone I hear every time signal is poor and the phone eventually cuts out? Well, there wasn't one this time. How could she have not gotten through to me? How could I have not known she wasn't on the other end of the phone? Truth be told, I was so grateful she was listening. I just said, I've just told you everything and you didn't hear it? And she said, no, please tell me again. Only I couldn't. It was some kind of catharsis I didn't know I needed. It was the first time I had said any of it out loud to myself or to anyone really, and I felt good for it. Looking back, I don't think it was her who needed to hear it, and I think somewhere in amongst it that somebody or something else knew that. It was one of the most wholesome moments of my life, a real turning point for me. I never did relay it all back to my then girlfriend. Was it a family member? Someone caring for me? The timing of a phone call being cut and the line reconnecting was uncanny. And this leads me to the next thing that happened. My sister stopped by a few days later and we got talking. I confided in her that strange things had been happening lately, and I noticed her face dropping when I was talking. She looked terrified. She lives in a house about 25 minutes away from my parents' home with her 2 young girls. She's a single mom and a bit of a hero for me. She went on to tell me that she had been experiencing strange things in her house too. She said that one night she was sat alone in her lounge. The girls were in bed and she heard a noise from the kitchen. She got up expecting to find one of the girls rummaging through the cupboards for treats, except when she got there the kitchen was empty. That was except for the mess all over the floor. Everything that was on top of her kitchen cupboards, including a load of Terry's chocolate oranges she was saving for Easter gifts, was now all over the floor. She lives in a small house. There's no way kids could have done this. And when she went to check on them, they were fast asleep upstairs. That same week, she told me she was watching TV again one evening in the lounge. The kids were fast asleep upstairs when, through the crack in the door, she saw someone walk downstairs. She saw legs, and she thought they were too tall to be her girls. She waited a moment for one of the kids to walk into the room, but they never did. She went to check, and there was nobody downstairs, but she could smell cigar smoke. So she went upstairs to check on the girls, and the smell of cigars was stronger up there. And now She could also smell men's aftershave. She said that she recognised this smell though. It smelled like Grandad. Grandad had died when I was very young, so I have no memory of ever meeting him. Neither of them actually. So I'm still not sure which one it would have been, but she was convinced. And that wasn't all. She said that another day when the kids were staying at their dad's house, she was alone, doing some ironing in the lounge, listening to one of Pink's albums. She said that she was really freaked out because one of the songs kept cutting out at the same point. It happened once, so she would restart the track, and then it would happen again at exactly the same point. And the thing is, she said, it kept cutting out after the lyric, "I am here," every time. I'm not a huge Pink fan, so I didn't know the song, but I got it up on my phone and started to skip through it. Sure enough, there's that line. But I was really spooked to learn the entire song asked the question, where does everyone go when they go? It seems a bit too perfect, but my sister isn't one for untruths, and she was visibly shaken. She's a care-at-home nurse and deals with death a lot as part of her job. She has shared many stories with me in the past that touch on paranormal in patients' homes, but they're not mine to tell. I've never seen her on the edge like she was. This day we spoke about what had been happening to us. 2 more things happened to me during this time that defy explanation. I was with a friend at her home one evening, talking life. She was really good to me during this time. We had a bottle of wine open and sat outside in her patio one warm summer's evening. She had one of those wicker outdoor seating sets, and the table had a glass top. She decorated the table by putting these fairy lights underneath the glass. The topic turned to my recent experiences, and she was listening with intent. Invested, but clearly a bit dubious. I got to the point where I was telling her about the lights that seemed to flicker sometimes, and no sooner than the words had left my mouth, the fairy lights on the table went out. And I laughed, thinking it was comical timing that the batteries would run out. My friend was less impressed, and she bolted for the house. I just laughed, saying, "Come on, it's probably just the batteries," and hilarious timing. And I called her back out, and after a little bit of encouragement, she came back out, and she said, "You don't understand." And I looked at her confused, and she said that was 2 sets of lights, not one. So she was fiddling around for a moment, and sure enough pulled out 2 separate battery packs from under the glass. And she said, "See, there's 2. And they went off at exactly the same time. She examined one of them and flicked the little switch on the side, and the lights came back on. Both had been turned off. I was more shocked, and I think she was terrified at this point. She went back inside the house and said that she wasn't going to stay out there. I followed her into the lounge, and as I stepped inside the door, the lights flickered, all of them. The overhead lights, and I could see the lamp in the corner flickering too. And she ran into the kitchen, and as soon as I followed, the spotlights in the kitchen started to flicker too. And she looked at me in disbelief, and I just said, "See?" I was finally able to show somebody else what I had been experiencing. A little time after this, I was driving back from a film shoot in West London with my business partner at the time. I was driving and he was in the passenger seat. We had a pretty long drive home, but it didn't take long for the topic of conversation to turn to what had been happening to me. Once again, I told what was happening to me with these lights. We were approaching a junction with traffic lights, and as we got closer and the car slowed down, the street lights above the car went out one by one. Only at exactly the moment we drove underneath each of them, 4 in total. And they stayed out. Every other street light around us stayed lit. I couldn't actually believe it myself this time. I've since moved to where this junction is in West London, and every time I drive through it, I do just wonder if something will happen again, but it never has. It's now etched in my memory forever though. Years have passed and nothing strange has happened to me since this moment. I did come out of that dark patch of my life, so I've always felt like it was connected. The only thing I wonder about is when my now girlfriend and I moved into our new apartment in 2023. We were unloading things from the car the day we moved in, and I remember taking my rubber plant up to the flat, placing it down on the floor and heading back down to the car to get more things. When we came back minutes later, the plant was on its side and soil all over the floor. As with the toothbrush, I wondered whether I hadn't put it down properly or maybe I had knocked it on my way out. But it's nearly as tall as me, and I'm sure I would have noticed or heard it. And after that, we've lived there for 2 years and nothing has happened since. Thank you to Simon for sending in his paranormal experience. And you know, there's so many people who have had experiences when they've gone through a bad patch in their life, whether they're depressed or just a low point. I find that quite interesting. And something I could relate to in this episode was the lights. Something I had forgotten about until I read Simon's story. And I remember in my early 20s going through a period of time where streetlights would often go out whenever I walked underneath them. Coincidence, most probably, but it still was very, very weird. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to hit that follow button so you don't miss any future episodes. Thank you for listening, and join me next time for another episode of Scary.
Hi, this is Casey from the Casefile podcast, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile. The holidays can be overwhelming with shopping lists, budgets, and the clock ticking down. Boost Mobile takes the mystery out of saving money with the $25 unlimited plan. You get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with no trade-ins and no hidden fees. It's simple, affordable, and keeps you connected to what matters most. Keep the phone you already love, pay less every month, and take one more problem off your list. That's one case I can officially close stress-free. Visit boostmobile.com to start saving. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Take control of the numbers and supercharge your small business with Xero. That's Xero. With our easy-to-use accounting software with automation and reporting features, you'll spend less time on manual tasks and more time understanding how your business is doing. 87% of surveyed U.S. customers agree Xero helps improve financial visibility. Search Xero with an X or visit Xero.com/ACAST to start your 30-day free trial. Conditions apply.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium, unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day. Yeah?
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This holiday, Verizon is helping you bundle up incredible gifts and savings. You'll get the latest phone with the new line on My Plan and a brand new smartwatch and tablet. No trade-in needed, even on our lowest price plan. That's 2 gifts for your family and 1 for you. Or 2 for you and 1 for someone else. Or 3 gifts for you and only you. Either way, you save big on 3 amazing gifts at Verizon. All on the best 5G network. Visit Verizon today. Rankings based on Root Metrics Root Score Report dated 1/8/2025. Your results may vary. Service plan required for watch and tablet. Additional terms apply.
Hi, this is Casey from the Case File Podcast, and today I want to talk to you about Boost Mobile. The holidays can be overwhelming with shopping lists, budgets, and the clock ticking down. Boost Mobile takes the mystery out of saving money with the $25 unlimited plan. You get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with no trade-ins and no hidden fees. It's simple, affordable, and keeps you connected to what matters most. Keep the phone you already love, pay less every month, and take one more problem off your list. That's one case I can officially close stress-free. Visit boostmobile.com to start saving. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 per month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
So good, so good, so good.
Score holiday gifts everyone wants for way less at your Nordstrom Rack store. Save on UGG, Nike, Rag & Bone, Vince, Frame, Kurt Geiger London, and more.
Because there's always something new.
I'm giving all the gifts this year with that extra 5% off when I use my Nordstrom credit card. Santa who?
Join the Nordy Club at Nordstrom Rack to unlock our best deals. It's easy. Big gifts, big perks. That's why you rack.